You're about to watch a Trains Newswire video. If you enjoy what you see, consider watching some of our other full-length videos. Selling Sunshine, the Florida Trains. Locomotive 2017, a video companion to our best-selling annual issue. Big Steam is back. All of these and more are available from our website, kalmbachhobbystore.com. Boom! Good morning, Trains Nation. Today is Friday, March 23rd, all day.
Until midnight.
Until midnight, as it always is, but just a different day. So we're so glad you could join us for another episode of Trains Newswire Roundup. I am
It's going to be a good one.
Steve Sweeney.
Lots going on. Jim Wrinn here. I was out in the field last week.
Yes,
and
you
also
were.
took a couple of days off.
You had some fun out there.
Had a little fun out there. You know, went and looked at Amtrak on Raton Pass and visited the Santa Fe 2926 restoration project, and you know,
Steam and semaphores, you can't beat that.
no, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, a lot going on. And then I come back and I start reading Newswire, and there's all this stuff that's happening. There are derailments and there are things going on, and a lot going on in Washington this week.
Well, and that's mostly, you know, what I've got on my list.
That's what I had on my list too.
It's like, holy moly. Well, okay, well, the big derailment, there was a head-on collision earlier this week between two Norfolk Southern trains in Kentucky.
On NS,
on Norfolk Southern. And,
Georgetown,
Yep, and, you know, cleanup happened over a couple of days. We're going to be following up again on that earlier next week when there's some kind of determination of what happened.
Yeah.
Of course, that derailment leads into a lot of what's going on in Washington, namely positive train control.
Right.
Head-on collisions are not supposed to happen. Train-to-train collisions are not supposed to happen if you have PTC installed. So, interesting. Well, let's talk about that first, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
all right.
That's on my list.
So, positive train control. The Federal Railroad Administration released new numbers this week, and I combed over those this morning, so we have an update on those numbers today. Go out and check Newswire. Norfolk Southern, which was in that derailment, I'm kind of surprised about. They're not as far along as I thought.
Yeah,
they
I
would
was
be.
too. I was too. And BNSF is way far down the path.
Yeah, BNSF is pretty much complete as far as PTC goes.
Yep, and they're running a lot of trains with it already on there.
Yeah.
So, which is good. But yeah, NS is not so much.
Not so much. And Kansas City Southern, now they're a smaller railroad, but they're still Class 1, and they have, according to FRA, as of December 31st, so if you're Kansas City Southern, you might have actually updated this since last December, but they had 0 route miles with PTC installed.
Yeah. And CN was really low too.
Yes, they are.
I was surprised about that. But the overall numbers are really advancing fast. You know, there was 25,000 miles that were in service at the end of last September, 61,000 miles at the end of December.
It's actually, well, that was part of the
more?
update. It's 31,000 miles.
31,000 miles.
31,000 miles. Yeah, there was a math error got into a story. Apologies for that.
That never happens with journalists.
Never happens. No, but it was a 22% increase, but the increase came all on the freight side.
Got it.
And in passenger trains, passenger railroads, which include a lot of the commuter lines, you know, and SEPTA is on top, but overall, you know, New Jersey Transit, MTA, Long Island, Metro North, we're talking Sound Transit, all that. It went from 1,008 miles to 1,010 miles installed with PTC. So they increased 2 miles in 3 months.
Good for them. Well, that's 2 more miles better. And as you pointed out, you know, part of it is equipping the locomotives.
Yes.
So, and there's that Newswire story goes into, you know, the locomotives that are equipped on each railroad, and then the miles. And then the miles in service that they've said, okay, yeah, we're going to run it on here.
Right, and
we're
some
doing it.
And some railroads have bandwidth, and some don't. You know, the closest analogy I can think of to what we're the kind of numbers we're getting from the FRA right now is baseball.
Yeah.
You know, in baseball, it's all about
scores.
stats.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's hits, runs, errors, home runs, you know, bases stolen, and that's what we got with PTC. So you could look at route miles. I'm looking at route miles. Someone else might say it's locomotives or employees trained, but all those numbers we've linked to through Trains Newswire.
Wow.
Also on PTC this week, the American Public Transportation Association leader says that commuter railroads are going to have a hard time meeting the PTC deadlines. So that just goes in with the numbers that we've received from the FRA. The deadline is right now December 31st, 2018, you know, to have everything installed, unless you have enough installed that you can apply for an extension from the FRA. And they say in certain cases railroads won't even get that, and we're thinking New Jersey Transit. So, kind of dicey.
Good luck over there in the Garden State, guys. Be careful out there.
Well,
oh my gosh.
happy news. I attribute this to luck of the Irish. Luck of the Irish. And I was wearing green last Friday, so you know I was there. Association of American Railroads says that as of the week ending March 17th, 2018, every commodity class was in the green. Was up. And some of them were in double digits. I'm going to try and read my chicken
It's been a while since that happened.
It's been a long, at least, I'm going to say at least a year. I kind of remember these things.
I think maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah. Intermodal up 12%, coal up 11%, ore and metallic minerals up 11%, and minerals, non-metallic, up 10%.
Yep.
Overall, everything, carloads, intermodal, everything up 10% across the board for the week of March 17th. That is really good news.
That's very good news. And you know, we see it, you know, like when we're out in the field, you know, and we're watching the traffic out there. And of course, our backyard is the CN main line here between Chicago and the Pacific Northwest. And it is one busy railroad. You know, you go out there and every siding is full. And I think you've got a Newswire item coming up this morning about CP reopening a yard in Chicago. Or expanding it, Schiller Park, coming back because they're so doggone busy.
Yeah, and good for them. Good for them. But with all that traffic comes problem, slowness. So bad news. Surface Transportation Board has called on freight railroad CEOs, specifically the Class 1 railroad CEOs, to explain why traffic is so slow. They're getting complaints. The STB, that is getting complaints from grain shippers and others that they're not getting cars when they order them, that their cars are taking too long in transit, that things are just gumming up across the board. And we're actually seeing quite a bit of slowness with the eastern railroads. So I'm talking CSX, NS, Canadian railroads, CN and CP, and Kansas City Southern to a lesser extent. Oddly enough, BN and UP look pretty good compared to all the rest of them.
You know, I was down in Berlin last Friday with the live streaming gear. And, you know, it's a constant little parade right there in Berlin because you've got stuff coming and going on the Transcon all the time. It is a hot spot, by the way. This episode brought to you by Hot Spots, Berlin, New Mexico, in here. Go check it out. Great hot spot. But, yeah, I mean, they're putting a third track on the Transcon just right outside of town. And I kept watching this train down in the yard. And it had this uniformity to it that just really appealed to me. And I said, I'm going to wait that sucker out. And it was the last train I caught of the day. And by gosh, it was a Georgetown G-Rex ballast train going out to ballast that third set of mainline tracks. So good on BNSF for doing that. And that was a heck of a cool sight.
Did you get good glint on that?
Some good glint. Unfortunately, it was backlit. But I know.
Backlit.
Yeah,
whatever.
Can't do anything.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also on STB, looks like President Trump has nominated a new chairperson.
Saw that.
Ann Begeman, Ann, no E on Ann. So congratulations to you. And also, CSX has gotten off of probation. Did you see this?
I saw that.
Bill Stevens.
Good for them.
Bill Stevens got a tip and followed up on it. For the longest time, CSX Transportation has been under, I don't know, ankle bracelet monitoring.
Something like that.
From the STB, and reporting back to the STB every week. Now that's done. Now they're just like every other Class 1 railroad that has to report to the STB on slowness. So good for you guys. A little bit of Midwest news. LaSalle Street Station is getting an almost $3 million upgrade. Did you see that?
Nice. I missed that one.
Yeah.
That's
cool. It's kind of cool. You know, it was the old Rock Island, New York Central Depot. And it's kind of like a covered concrete platform now. Yeah. And $3 million.
Get a little bit more.
It's, well, $3 million won't go a long way, but it'll go a good way on this one. So good to Metro for that.
Good on that.
What else you got on the list, Jim?
You know, I was just curious about Ron Batory saying he wanted a report from the railroads about their use of automation. That was kind of interesting to me because obviously, and this goes back to PTC again, seems like this is the PTC episode, but you know, nobody said they want to automate the railroads because of PTC.
Right.
But there are a lot of things that the railroads are using now, you know, Trip Optimizer, Leader, all these other tools and devices. So they want to have a dialogue, they want to have a report about how railroads are using automation to improve safety. And you know, I kind of view it as you know, sticking a thermometer in the patient's mouth and just seeing kind of what temperature they have right now. Because obviously there's a lot going on, you know, they're busy, they get a lot of freight traffic to move, and you know, here are the folks that oversee it all. They just want to get the perspective from that patient out there.
So that's good, and I hope they give good unvarnished answers.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Because we hear in the other parts of the world, such as Australia, where they're already doing automated trains, and we know that technology is not isolated. It's not going to stay on that island continent forever. So let's get ahead of it now.
So that's all I got.
That's all I got. Remember, today's episode brought to you by Hot Spots. the best, the greatest Hotspots magazine of rail fan train watching locations out on the market today. You can pick it up at the Kalmbach Hobby Store, kalmbachhobbystore.com, or see us on trainsmag.com. For everyone at Trains Magazine, have a great weekend.
Thanks for watching.
You missed.
I tried.